Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Future Foundation Global booth. We are FFG, and we are booth 173T, so 1732 here in CSM Anaheim. We are so blessed to have here today Roger Herr. Roger has been a longtime national leader. He's a current vice president of VNS Health in New York. Been an APTA member since '85. I've served the profession in so many ways. I mean, I don't want to get through all of them, but you know Roger. He's been a blessing to this profession, and his leadership has always helped advance advocacy, belonging, and professional voices within APTA. So welcome, Roger.
Thank you, Ben.
Yeah.
Great to be here.
Thank you. And then just so that the few, three people who don't know anything about you, could you let them know what your area of interest or what makes you passionate about physical therapy today?
What got me into physical therapy and what continues to passion me is patient-centered care. So when I was a student, I was learning to become a teacher, and I thought, how could I impact the people in special education? But what impacts me now is the mission of the organization I work with is to serve those that are most vulnerable. What I like doing is doing that by understanding the systems and processes so that we can be most effective in our work, practice at the top of our license, and really impact change, given the constant change of technology, systems, payment, and
practice. Yes, okay. I mean, you have a lot of experience. As a past APTA president, Roger, what work are you most proud of in helping move the association forward, particularly around advocacy, welcoming, and belonging?
Great. Thank you for the question. I think the first thing we did in the beginning of my term as president was the work of foresight and thinking about foresight is not a crystal ball looking into the future. It is more understanding what is happening now and what are the things in our ways of working that are good for us, our beliefs, our systems, our processes, but also what are the things that are holding us back? And so by doing that foresight work, we looked at a couple different areas. And also there's wild cards in that, like technology, a pandemic, and other things that change the world. But what that did was make us begin to realize with the work and foresight of what in our past was important to keep and honor, and what parts of our past we need to let go of. And then what parts of that are part of our current reality, but where do we need to go to? And I think one of the examples of that is the Value PT report. What staff did was take the value of PT. We have so much research on our practice and our efficacy in practice. How do we take that research and transition it to population health and the value of PT for patients and conditions? And then from there, look at this conference. It's on the possibility versus what do we have? Where can we go?
Right.
I think that transition of foresight has planted the seeds for the amazing things that are happening now.
As a nerd who is both a historical nerd and a futurist nerd, that really speaks to me because I really would love to know how things got to be the way they are and then figure out, well, this is great, but is there a way to make it better? And I think that encapsulates what you just said to me about foresight. So I really appreciate that piece. As you know, you're also a leader in home health, and you'll be speaking at CSM Current and Hot Topics on the setting. Would you have any pearls or nuggets that you would think attendees would like? That's why they would prioritize your session, and how does it connect to broader advocacy and engagement?
I think what is most wonderful about this conference is 18 tracks of 18 specialty academies. I think for me in this section, in this presentation here is a couple years ago with the pandemic, we were at telehealth.
Yes.
Then this world of digital health, and now it's AI, and just how quickly that's changing. I think what I want to instill in people is what we learn today will be very different in a year or two from now. So while we need to, as individuals, make sure we have organizations that trust, build the systems and processes, the policies and procedures that allow us to use technology effectively and responsibly. But at the same point, we have to constantly change. So an example is, in practice, if ambient listening is changing, we can put the computer aside and work with the person.
Wait, eye contact? Really, with a patient?
And not a computer in between.
Yes.
But what does a clinician need to practice without an EMR reminding them what to do?
Right.
How do we prepare clinicians for that future? How do we prepare clinicians that are used to always confirming their visits in home health with a phone call and that they let go of the phone call and let another system, the patient maybe texting a confirmation. How do we let go our ways of working to be more nimble and agile? So some of those things we rely on, but we need to let some of those go. And I don't know what they all are, but we got to test them, and we're going to fail at some things. And we have to say, that didn't work. What did we learn from that, and what can we do differently at the right time when the technology's there? It might have failed last year, but maybe it'll work next year.
Is it really failure when you're falling forward?
Well,
right.
Right. And thank you. That's the way we need to think is falling forward, because no one learns to walk the first time they stand up. And how many months does that take? And are we willing to have that grace as we want to do everything right all the time, efficacious practice, responsible, and productive in our work? But at the same point, we're going to have to try things before they work for everyone.
Roger, so our audience tends to be Filipino PTs, and a good chunk of them are doing home health. So this is riveting stuff, right? So I really highly suggest, if you're at CSM, go attend Roger's session. I believe you are at the Friday session, right?
Hot Topics at 10:30.
Friday Topics 10:30 for Roger at Friday. So I guess the closing question I have for you, across the PT profession, across practice settings, we've been talking about belonging, about access, advocacy, and leadership, especially about PTs, PTAs, and students. And I guess for our particular audience, the internationally educated PTs or the Filipino PTs like myself. From your perspective, what's one concrete step someone of that background can take today to move from simply being a member to being truly engaged?
I think all of us that are here is to meet someone you don't know and say, hello, my name is...
Meet someone
I
you
just
don't
did that
know.
at the food trucks outside. I sat down with people from Mississippi and other states that are either new students or others. But it's really reaching out and engaging. And I think what I've learned in my practice is we need to lean in when people are different, because we can learn something from each other. And I think what I've learned in my work is those that are the most homogenous or tenured in their experience, if they don't have a new graduate or a new person on their team, it doesn't begin to challenge their ways of working. And one of the things I heard this morning is, what have you learned that you've put into your practice? What has changed your practice? And we always need to be saying, not just using my experience, but how am I changing in this changing world? And what parts serve me well? So whether it's an individual just reaching out and introducing yourself to someone, you might meet them, you might connect with them, you might LinkedIn with them, or that might be a once and done. But the point is, you're going to get exposed to someone new and different.
Right.
And sometimes that sparks an opportunity.
Right.
So be willing to knock, say hi, and connect with someone.
So basically, kindergarten.
District maybe.
Kindergarten, right?
Yes.
Say hello and make a friend. Basically. Yeah. So thank you so much, Roger. It's been always very educational and informative to be with you. I'm ending a lot of our interviews now with a question that's a little bit out of left field. Since we're in CSM Anaheim, and Disneyland is, I think, 50 meters that away, if you were a Disney character physical therapist or physical therapist assistant, who would you be?
Wow, that's a good question. I am not good at characters, but I can tell you the attributes I like. I don't want to be the center of attention. I want to be one of the background characters that helps support everyone feeling safe in there. So it might not be the front. I like to be at the back of the room, meeting people around and making sure that they feel supported. So I might be the security guard or someone that helps out people when they're lost.
Oh, that's very sweet.
And when they've lost their way. That would be the place that I like, because it's the one-on-one connection.
Right.
I don't want to be the center of attention. I want to be that person that's helping those around the periphery.
Helping us all find our way.
Yes.
Oh, thank you so much. Once again, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much, Roger, for spending time with us today. And we appreciate you, and I hope you have a good CSM.
Thank you.
Thank you.